Hi resin crafters, welcome back to Resin with Rachel. I appreciate you coming to my page. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna start a set of dominoes. And you guys, these dominoes are so much fun and you can get really creative with what you put inside of them. If you watch some of my short videos that I had a surprise reveal, and these purple dominoes turned out beautiful. So as you can see here, there's some really pretty purple flowers, some gold leaf, and a little bit of some greenery in there. And I decided to do the purple dots with these in the white background. If you watched my previous resin coaster video, I'm really liking the white background because it seems to make your colors pop really, really well. Now, something that you want to know is that working with resin, especially if you're layering things and putting stuff inside of your dominoes or inside of your coasters, it is not a fast process, right? So these are layered and they take time. It takes about 24 hours for one layer to set, but that's okay, right? Because if anything that you want to make that's quality, you want to take your time on it. Another set that I did, and this was the first set that I had poured with the flowers. I did orange flowers with some greenery and some gold leaf, and I decided to do brown for these dots. It's a dark brown. It's probably hard for you to see. It might look black, but it's actually brown. So with kiddos, this is also a fun project. So I have a 7-year-old daughter, and she wanted to make her own set of dominoes, and she had a lot of fun with this project, you guys. So she took these fruit sprinkles that we have here. You can find these polymer fruit pieces, little confetti polyester glitter. I got it from Michael's. It wasn't too expensive. And she separated the fruits individually and she made her own set of dominoes. And these are so cute. So she took her time and placed the little fruits in the corner. And for each color of fruit, she made the domino to kind of match that color. So here is a purple one with the cute little grapes in there, and then the oranges. And I don't know if you could tell, but there is a glitter layer in here, and then obviously the dark color on the back. These turned out super cute. They are such a fun project. And right now, my current obsession is resin. You guys, I do it all. I love crafting. I've been crafting for years. From wooden signs to my Cricut and doing everything with the Cricut, making shirts, from crocheting to refinishing furniture to hand drawing. One of my passions is also to hand draw because I love crafting, but with my current obsession being resin, and I'm really loving these dominoes, it's just a fun project, and it's also a stress relief too, right? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make these dominoes, and I'm gonna go through kind of step by step with you. So for today, part one, it's just gonna be pouring the clear layer, right? So I had some leftover resin after pouring some coasters. So I went ahead and poured, about half of these with a thin layer, and we're gonna go ahead and pour the rest with you here today, and then check back in tomorrow, and we'll start putting some cute items in there. I decided for this set, my favorite color is green. I wanted to do the green fruit, and as you can see here, we have a star fruit, looks like a kiwi, maybe cucumber, looks like okra slices, and some pretty green flowers. And to kind of lighten that up, I thought maybe we could put some white flowers in there too. I've decided that these flowers can be kind of pricey, so I am going to pick my own and press my own flowers, and also dehydrate my own fruit slices. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll make a video about that. So I'm gonna get my camera set up. What I did, so you guys know, is I had some leftover resin, and if you've watched my videos before, I love the brand Let's Resin. They are an amazing brand. It comes out clear. It's not toxic to inhale. Like, you don't have to wear a ventilating mask or anything like that. and not a lot of bubbles. I've tried a lot of brands and gotten a lot of bubbles. So I use Let's Resin. These are half gallons. I'm almost out. I need to get some more. And also a tip for you, if you didn't watch my previous video, is label your caps. You have part A, label your cap part A, and then your other part B, label that one as well. And the reason for that is when you go to pour your resin, and let's say you're busy and you leave the caps off, then you go and put them back on, you might actually put part A's cap on part B. And when those two chemicals get together and they harden, it's gonna be almost impossible to take your caps off. So learn from my lesson and label your caps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix my camera to where you can see what I am doing. So bear with me here. Okay, so I have my resin mold here, and like I said previously, I've already poured a thin layer last night over a little more than half of these dominoes with some of the leftover resin that I had after a coaster pour. And this is some resin that I have today left over after a coaster pour as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish pouring these guys in here. Something to note is I like to use my spray bottle. It's 91% alcohol. I like to spray this in my mold before I put my resin down. That helps to keep air bubbles from forming on your dots and in the corners of your mold. So I'm gonna pour enough that covers the dots. Something else that's important to note is whatever you're working on, you want to work on a level surface, right? Because if you don't, then your resin, when it hardens, is going to be uneven. So with these domino molds, man, they actually take a lot of resin. So I've learned with the pours that I have done to mix enough, especially if you're mixing colors. So if you're mixing the white for the very last layer of your domino set, you want to make sure you mix enough to cover whatever you're going to do. That way you don't run out halfway through your domino set or halfway through your coasters, or even if you're pouring in any other type of mold, then you're going to have to try to mix the same color. And sometimes it's almost impossible to match the color that you mixed. So make enough resin to fill whatever mold you're doing, especially if you're mixing colors. Okay, and we have 2 left. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna look over the ones I just poured and make sure that I don't see any bubbles and the dots. And right here, I can see that I did not pour enough in some of these to cover the dots all the way. I'm gonna go back and put a little bit more in these spots. I can already see some micro bubbles. Don't worry about those micro bubbles. I'm going to show you how to get rid of them. Okay, so it looks like I've covered all of my dots for my dominoes. I have a little bit right here that got on the outside of the mold. I'm just gonna wipe that off with my paper towel that has my cleanup. Oh, let me just dip it in there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 70% solution that I use for cleanup, the 70% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm gonna wipe the edge of my mold. And I think that's about clean. Okay, so I can see some little teeny micro bubbles. That is okay, because with your 91% alcohol, you're just gonna spray and those bubbles will pop. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit and I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, and I'm gonna watch some of these bubbles that are a little bit deeper. They will rise, and then I'm just gonna spray them again with the alcohol. And then when it looks like they are all popped, I'm gonna cover it to make sure no dust or anything gets inside of there. And then I'm gonna let it dry overnight and come back for part 2. Tomorrow what we'll do is we will put our flowers and the green fruit in here, and we will pour that layer. So come back for tomorrow for part 2. Thank you.